it's Linda Kay, and I wanted to talk to you about first loves. And do we ever get over them? Well, I have a personal story to share, and I would love for you to watch it all the way through because it has an incredible ending, nothing like you would expect. So, I was 21 when I met him. I had just turned 21, like 2 months before. And this was in the very early 70s, so I'm giving out my age. And I had been married for like a year and 9 months or something like that. And we had just split up that March, and it was March 1972. And so I led a very sheltered life, even when I was married, because we never went to bars or anything. And I was raised by Jewish parents who were very overprotective. And so when we split up, I was out on my own like an hour and a half from my family. And I had some girlfriends that I met like right away. And one of them took me to a bar, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know these kinds of bars existed. I mean, dancing and whatever. So when I turned 21, she took me to this bar called My Place in the San Fernando Valley. I don't even know if it's still around, but that's how I met him. And it was kind of like unexpected. It just was like I had never known like a relationship like that before. On our first date, because I was so protected by my parents, on our first date, he came to the door and his shirt was unbuttoned down to here, and there was all this hair sticking out, and I was like, oh, he's undressed, to myself. But I grew to like it, of course. And it's just kind of funny because it just was like shocking to me at first, but then I thought it was really hot. And we were together for like 6 months. And I was raised in a house where no one shared their feelings. So I didn't know how to share that I was in love with him. And so I basically decided that I was going to write it down. So I got a card one day for him that said, "My heart is yours." And I made him dinner and I gave him the card. And he was like, really thrown back. He didn't say anything. All he said was, "We have to be strong." So what happened afterwards, within a few days, he dumped me. And I was absolutely beyond devastated. Now, I was numb for a long time because I didn't know how it felt to say I love you out loud. So for many years, I was very numb. And so I had a hard time, and I decided to go to Europe. And he heard that I was going, and everything, I just have one couch left in my apartment because everything had been taken away. And I was about to go to Israel to live on a kibbutz. And I was leaving like maybe within a week. And I was going to my parents' house first. And so he came over, but it was like, I don't know, there was like, I didn't know how to act. He didn't know how to act. And he left. So I came back from Israel and I lived at home for a while. Then I moved back to the valley. And I remember moving into this apartment, completely unaware that he was living there because I didn't know. And he was living with some girl that was like 20 years older than him. He eventually moved out. We never spoke. And I lived there for like 12 years. But during that time, his mother found out that I lived there, and she called me and she apologized for breaking us up, which was very surprising to me. She said that at 21, I was separated. I was young. He was like 6 years older than me. She didn't think I was good enough for him, and she apologized profusely. She said she had always felt guilty because he was never the same again. And I had to let it go, and I moved on, and I stopped thinking about him all the time. And when I was 39, I had moved like an hour and a half away to Orange County, California. And I remember having a series of dreams. And these dreams were so real. And he was like pointing to an envelope in the dream, like the return address. And he kept pointing to it. And I didn't know what he was trying to tell me. And every few days I was having this dream. And it was exactly the same dream. His mother and his sister were calling out to me. And he was trying to show me where he was. And I couldn't get what he was trying to tell me. I couldn't see the address. And so finally, after about the sixth one, I figured out that somebody had died. But I didn't know who died. And so I tried to make a call to his parents' house, and the number was disconnected. So I figured either somebody had died or they had moved, because everybody was getting up in age. So I sent a postcard to the house address, and whoever was living there then told me that they had bought the house, and when they had bought it, the father had died and the son was sick and lived up north, and that's all I knew. And I had to let it go. There was nothing I could do. And I did let it go, and I moved on with my life, and I had a second love. And then about 6-7 years ago, I don't know what it was. I woke up in the morning and I sat up in bed and I went, I have to find him. Well, it didn't take long, because it was his 50-year high school reunion that year, and I knew that. And he was... I figured he would be going to his reunion, so I did a Google search for his high school, and within 2 minutes, I found the reunion page, and someone minutes before had posted that he had passed away. And I wrote to that person, and I asked them if they had any information, and lo and behold, he told me when he had died, and it was when he had been messaging me in the dream and showing me letters. He was trying to tell me that he had died, and I had no clue. And it was then that I realized, I cried for like a week, because I realized that he had always loved me. And I just was blown away. And before that, I only dated men with hairy chests, because he had a hairy chest. After that, it doesn't matter anymore. I finally let it go. And when I had my second love, I made sure, although it didn't work out, I made sure I said to him, I love you all the time. And it was like air flowing out through my heart. I felt like alive finally because I had held it back for so long. And so the reason I'm telling this story is because I want you to know that you will get over your first love. I thought I would never get over my first love. I remember having a dream about him when we first split up. It was a series of dreams, like the second dream. And all 6 of them, it was like 5 or 6 dreams, all close together. And the first one was matched every single one. And that was, I was in a public shower with him. And we were in love, and there was a fog around us, like we were the only 2 people in the world. And then one day he disappeared, and then I was still in the shower, and everybody was laughing at me. And then he came back many, 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 many years later. It was like many years later. So in my belief, I always felt like he'd be back someday, but a long time from now. And of course he didn't come back, but I know that we've been in past lifetimes together, and we'll probably be in the next lifetime together. So but again, you're going to get over your first love. You will. And if you want to know what your first love is feeling about you, and you can go to my website, pinkchickpsychic.com, and purchase either a feelings reading by email or by phone or Zoom. And I want you to have a just magical, magical, pinkalicious day. And my next video is going to be on prayers by Marianne Williamson and how to create a new love, and affirmations for letting go of your first love. It's very important. So have a beautiful day. Bye now.